Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Um, Not really sure how to start this video. I do have something that I want to talk about, and yeah. So I pretty much want to share with you what's been going on with me lately, and I feel like I've just hit my rock bottom. And what I mean by that is that I emotionally and physically just feel drained and like I can't take it anymore. And something has got to change. And so, where do I begin? Logan's 16 months now, so right around when he was about a year old, um, I weaned him from breastfeeding and everything like that, and that completely changed my hormones and I just noticed, and that's natural. It's natural to have such a huge change. You know, your body needs to get back to normal and level out, and take a while for that to happen. So I weaned him from breastfeeding, and all the hormones started shifting and my body was changing. And during breastfeeding him, I was able to keep my weight down pretty good. You're burning calories while breastfeeding, all that kind of stuff. I was eating really well because what I put into my body, he's going to be getting into his. But right around a year, I stopped breastfeeding, and that was a natural. He was ready to be done, I was ready to be done. I wanted to get back on track with just being able to eat or drink whatever I wanted. So I started doing that and stopping breastfeeding. TMI, but I started getting my cycle back and all of that. So hormones were fluctuating, everything, roller coaster here and there, and I knew that my body was going to take time to get adjusted again. And so a couple months, and even before that, my cycle came back right before I cut off breastfeeding, and it ended up leveling out, and then it started getting crazy again. And I started to feel unwell. And what I mean by that is, I just didn't feel right. I felt sick all the time, tired all the time, and not tired like I have 4 kids, I have a busy life, I'm tired. It's fatigue, and no amount of sleep is gonna fix it. I tried taking some meds like probiotics to help with digestive issues, vitamins, all these things, and I started having joint issues. I would wake up in pain. My elbows, my arms would be killing me. My knees would hurt. So I was just like this complete mess. I just felt like I'm not in control of my life. I have all these symptoms, and I wasn't really sure what was going on or, how I could fix it. So I did try doing some of the medications and vitamins and stuff like that, and give it some time. I started eating healthier, and I started doing workouts, and nothing was helping. And I didn't just do it for a week. I did it for at least a month, and I wasn't seeing any difference. So, and then my cycle was still irregular. It was coming every month. It would come a week earlier and a week earlier and a week earlier, and it would be heavy one month and really light the next, and it was just all over the place, and that was not normal. I have 4 kids, and I was every pregnancy was normal, and after every pregnancy, you know, my body got back the way I'm used to having it. And for some reason, after I had my son, things just were different, and I can't explain why or what was causing it. So I decided, you know what? I tried doing all these things on my own. I'm not really sure what's going on. It's time to go see a doctor. So I went to my OBGYN and I saw a doctor, and I had a full ultrasound and, you know, talked to them, and everything checked out normal. I didn't have any cysts or mass or fibroids or anything. Everything looked perfectly healthy, perfectly fine. And she suggested going on birth control to kind of like level out the hormones and stuff. And I turned that down because my past history with birth control is I don't do well on hormone birth control. I had too many mood swings, and it gives me like high anxiety. I just can't function on it. So I turned that down, and I was like, there has to be a different way. And she ordered blood work. Now, while I was at the doctor and at that appointment, when I was in the waiting room, I was sitting there perfectly fine. I didn't do anything. I ate right before I went, and all of a sudden I got so lightheaded and nauseous that I felt like if I stood up, I would fall down and faint. I was so shaky. My whole body felt light and tingly. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. And I'm just sitting there texting my husband like, something's wrong, what do I do, what do I do? And he's like, just breathe. And I'm doing all this in the waiting room with people around, trying to hold it together, and I'm kind of freaking out. And the nurse comes out, calls my name, and I stand up, and we're starting to walk back, and she wants me to get on the scale, and as I'm walking, I just feel so shaky, and then I start like tearing up because I'm freaking out, and I'm like, I don't feel good. I need to sit down. So she rushes me to the room, and they check my blood pressure and everything like that, and everything's fine. So that appointment, which should only have taken 30 minutes, lasted like an hour because they're sitting there talking to me, all this kind of stuff, you know, wanting to know if I'm pregnant, and I'm like, no. And then after having the ultrasound, clearly I'm not. And so I just lay there, and they're just checking on me and trying to, you know, wait till it passes. And it's not going away. And it kind of calmed down, but then it started coming back in like waves. And so they thought the best course of action was to call up to the second floor primary care physician and have me sit in a wheelchair, and they're gonna wheel me up. So they put me in a wheelchair, we go up to the second floor, they check me into the room. I'm still having these dizzy, lightheaded, my whole body, like from my toes to the top of my head, tingly, shaky, all this kind of stuff. And so I go up there, they did an EKG, they took my blood sugar, and then she asked me she did this neurological exam where, you know, follow her finger, and she just did a bunch of stuff like that to see if there was something neurologically wrong that she could detect right away like that. And all of that came back negative. So the EKG was fine, what she was testing me, like all that kind of stuff was fine. My blood sugar was low though, and which didn't make sense because I ate right before I went. So you're talking like I ate, and then an hour later I'm like dangerously close, like diabetic shock close. And I think it was like 10 points off or something like that. So they gave me some apple juice and some crackers to eat, and I ate those, and they come back later and test me again, and my blood sugar's back up. And I'm just like, okay, so I guess I just had low blood sugar, but that doesn't make sense. And I'm still like, not today, like, what is that? And one thing I didn't like that she told me was, I was talking to her and I mentioned I had 4 kids, and she's like, oh, well, that can make you tired and all this kind of stuff. And I think she kind of just blew it off as like, this girl has 4 kids. She's tired all the time. She's so busy. That's her problem. And it just felt like, no, like, I know myself. I had more energy when I was pregnant with my son and had chasing around after 3 kids, my 3 girls. Like, I had more energy then. Why am I so tired now? So that appointment was over and I felt well enough to drive home. She also ordered a bunch of blood tests. So the next morning I go in and I go to the lab and I get all the blood tests that my OBGYN and the primary care doctor scheduled for me, and I took all of those. And then it comes back all fine. And I'm just kind of like, they check thyroid, all of the hormones you can find, blood sugars, all of this stuff, and everything just came back normal. And I'm just sitting there like, feeling like I'm crazy. So I'm like, I'm not giving up. Let me go to my primary care doctor. So I set up an appointment with him and we're just discussing everything. And one thing that was standing out to him was my digestive issues and all of that, because that's one thing that I know is just like way out of whack and I'm just not feeling good. So we were talking to him, and we were also the fatigue and everything like that. And we were trying to think of like adrenal glands and all that, but then we both decided on maybe I had sleep apnea or something like that. And that is when you're sleeping and you stop breathing and your body shocks you to wake you up, but you're going through like seconds of oxygen loss, like you're not breathing. And so if you're doing that multiple times a night, you're not going to get the deep sleep, you're not going to get the oxygen, so you're going to wake up fatigued and there's going to be health issues. So I had to go to a class, schedule a class, and go learn what sleep apnea is and how to test for it, and if it's positive, what you do. So I went ahead and I got that done. I was able to get that done within the next week. And then they were like, you have to like fill out a questionnaire to see if you're even like a candidate for testing to see if you have it. So I took that test and it goes back to my primary care, and I received a phone call saying, you know what, it looks like you might have it. Let's go ahead and test you for it. So they set up an appointment, which was a month later, which felt kind of like, oh man, I have to wait another month just to find out if this is it or not. So the suspense was just building for me. And it came, and it was September 28th was the date that I had to go pick up this machine and take it home, and then you strap yourself up in it and sleep with it and through the night, and then I had to go all the way back down to the hospital and turn it back in. So I wanted to record like a video all about it, but I just figured, you know what, I can't. I just need to focus on myself. I'm so nervous about this because it's one of those, we think this is it. This is going to be it. It has to be positive and all of that. So, and then it's like, well, if it's not, I just feel crazy. Like, it's like, you know, something's wrong with you, but no one can tell you why. So I go ahead and I get the machine and I'm hooked all up to it. They do one of those, oxygen tubes that go into your nostrils, and you hook it behind your ears, and then you have this little machine that straps to your chest, and it can test your chest rise and fall, and then it measures your oxygen levels. It can even detect when you're tossing and turning, standing, and all that kind of stuff. So I go ahead and do the test, sleep through the night, which was kind of uncomfortable, and I had a standard night's sleep for me, and I go return it the next morning, and they actually ended up calling my husband. They were like, we'll call you back within 24 hours or Monday, because they don't work on the weekend. So because I turned it in on Friday, and I could get results back on Friday or Monday. But I guess I never got a phone call on Friday. My husband comes home from work, and we eat dinner and everything. We get the kids down to bed, all that kind of stuff. And then we sit down on the couch, just start hanging out. And we start talking. And he's like, oh, by the way, I got a call from the doctor, and they said that your sleep apnea test came back negative. And I was like, what? First of all, why are they calling you and not me? Like, what the heck? He's the secondary phone number on my account, but I'm just kind of like, and if they called you, why didn't you tell me right away? And like, why'd you come home, go through dinner, put the kids to sleep, and then now you decide to tell me, knowing that I'm so nervous about it? And so he told me, and I just started crying, because I was so sure that this had to be it. It had to be the explanation of why I don't feel good and all these problems going on. And just like, I'm like tearing up now, because it's just frustrating. So frustrating to feel like there's something wrong with you and no one can tell you why. And so now I'm kind of stuck, because I'm like, I can keep making appointments and we can just keep digging into this and digging into this and digging into this, and I'm just like, maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong that, you know, is causing all of this. So I really took a hard look at myself and my lifestyle, and I just like felt like I just hit this rock bottom. Like, man, what else could I do? And I just am so ashamed of myself. I am so upset with myself. I have let myself go. I am so overweight. And I'm like, I'm still able to play with my kids and be active and do all of that. But I'm just not okay. And so I guess this rock bottom has sparked, like, you know what? Enough is enough. I have to get my life back together. And I have started working out and then stopped working out. Started working out and stopped working out. And, you know, just giving up, because isn't that normal? Like, you start doing it and it's good, it's good, it's good. You lose like 5 pounds and then you just like stop, and like it just slips out of your hands and all of that. But now I'm just kind of looking at it like, wow, I step on the scale and the number I see, like, it's not always about the number, but I'm like, my clothes aren't fitting right anymore. Like, I'm busting at the seams, and I look at myself in photos and I'm ashamed. I don't want to be photographed. Just every morning, waking up, looking in the mirror, being so unhappy at how I look and how I feel. And I've just come to this realization that I just got to get my life back on track. And I guess what that means is, you know what? I am going to start eating healthy again. And I pretty much do fairly often. Like, I'm not eating tons of junk food. I don't eat fast food every day of my life. Not even every week. And I just got to get back on track. Working out every day. I've done it in the past, and I think I just got to do it. And I guess I'm just making this video to share with you, like, you know what? I'm gonna get back on track, and I'm gonna start making videos about my workout journey and my health and everything like that, because it has to be it. It has to be, my body is so overweight that it doesn't know how to be healthy, and all. I'm having joint issues, I'm having digestive issues, I'm having sleep problems, I'm stressed, all this stuff, and I'm like not fitting into my clothes. I'm just not happy. So it's time for a change, and I figured that I'd just share with you guys that I'm going to be changing my life around right now. And I've already started, and this morning I've already worked out. I'm already on a better eating plan. But come Monday is when I'm going to start my workout videos. Well, not necessarily workout videos, but I'm just going to share with, kind of like accountability. It's share with you guys weekly or day to day that I've worked out and the food that I'm going to be eating to do that, and just share my weight loss journey with you guys. Because, if the doctors can't tell me why, then I've got to do something, and I got to step up, and I got to change something. Because you know what? Obviously doing the same old crap is not helping me. So that is my plan. Monday is day one, and I'm letting it all out there. I'm going to put it all out there. You're going to see my before photos, and it's kind of scary to put out a full body photo of what you look like. I'm obviously not happy with it. I don't even like, so sad. I don't even like to show my husband my body. Like, I constantly covering myself, hiding myself. I'm just so ashamed. So, but it's time for that to change. So you're gonna see my before photos, rolls, fat, stretch marks, all of that. You are going to see everything that's raw about me, and we're gonna start there. And then I'm gonna share with you guys what I'm doing workout wise, what I'm gonna be eating day to day, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to maybe make a change in your life. But for me, I just feel like I need this accountability. I want to share it. And if you're going through anything like I'm going through, where you're having health issues and you're not really sure why, doctors can't tell you why, or you're just generally like don't feel good, then hopefully this will help inspire you to make a change, and do it with me. Follow along with me and leave comments below asking questions all the time, or if you have tips on how to make things better. The tools that I use, I actually do the Beachbody programs, and I drink Shakeology. And I know a lot of you are probably like, like what a gimmick or stuff like that, but honestly, I've used this stuff in the past, and I've lost a considerable amount of weight, and I know it works. And because it's only 25 minutes a day, I drink my shake once a day, and I just eat healthy the rest of the time. So I know it works for me. But if you have any other tips, please let me know. I'd love to use them. And I also just want to stay, active through the day. Like, I'm a natural couch potato. I grew up I'm a couch potato. I would sit and snack and watch TV all day long if I could. But that's not what I'm going to do. I have Kaylee down here on the floor. I'm going to stay active, get out there, and just make a change in my life. And I just want this to be a positive experience. I want to make myself happy again. I want to feel happy on the inside and the outside. And I want to bring you guys along with me. So please follow along. Starting Monday, October 9th, I am beginning my weight loss journey. So I hope you guys will come along with me, watch. Make sure you subscribe so you guys can follow along. Get the notifications so you don't miss out on it. And I am so excited to do this, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Oh man. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on Monday.